up on stage. Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to chat with you today. I'm actually really nervous, though. I'm just going to give that caveat. I normally do a lot of workshops, a lot of training, a lot of facilitation, but this is my first time vending at an event before. So it feels like a little weird to be up here in this capacity. So I'm just going to act like I'm teaching, and that's just what it's going to be. So my name is Kimberly Brown. I'm the founder of Brown Leadership. My origin story, I joke and say that I am a personal and professional development junkie. I've always been that person. Someone raised their hand and said, me too. I'm like, send me to the conference. Let me write the paper on what I learned at the conference, and I will gladly be so excited about it. So my foundation for my business comes from 10 plus years of career coaching in higher ed. I've worked at Princeton, Columbia, and a few other smaller colleges. I joke and say that I work with folks age 18 who don't know what to do with their life, all the way through folks in their 50s and 60s who finally want to build a career that sparks joy. I took that experience to work as the Director of Global Diversity Talent Acquisition Strategy at American Express. Very long title, which means I built out the strategy to recruit, retain, and promote professionals across the globe. And all of that is the foundation of the work I do at Brown Leadership. But today, we are going to talk about skill gaps and skill maps. 39%. When I read this stat, I honestly don't believe it's 39%, because that sounds a little low. When we think about how fast the workplace is changing, between 2025 to 2030, 39% of workers' existing skills will be transformed or outdated. Who here believes it's probably like 50 to 65? Yeah, that's what I thought when I read this too, but I didn't do the research, so we're gonna go with 39%. So today, we're gonna talk about how we can combat this. Because what happens in learning and development, which I see so many times, is that we're a little behind trying to catch up to the gaps that we see. There's already a problem with the workers in the workplace, and we are, like this man here, bailing water out of our boat as fast as possible to build this train, right? We're building the train while it's already going, and it is hard. So I have a framework today that I want to share with you that's going to go over skill mapping. So if you're unfamiliar with the term skill mapping, this is identifying the emerging capability needs, aligning the developmental pathways, and preparing talent proactively. I feel like the two women before on the panel in Edelman, they are very much aligned with how I think about the world of work. So a lot of things that I'm saying, you already heard echoed in the session before, which I love. That just means alignment, and we are all on the same exact page. So I have a 3-step framework: align, audit, and forecast, that we are going to go over today to teach you step by step how you can address those skill gaps and start making maps for your workplace. And one of the things you're going to hear me echo repeatedly is the power of a pilot. I am never going to instruct you to boil the ocean, because I know that's what your business leaders are asking you to do every single day. They're asking you to do everything yesterday because they realized it the day before but didn't call you yet and schedule the meeting. So now we need it by Friday, and you may not have the team. In speaking with so many lovely people today in learning and development over the past few days, I know some of you have teams that are robust, and others of you are one-stop shops where you are doing all the things. So I always really reiterate the power of a pilot and doing it small and then doing it at scale. So the first step is audit. Who here does an audit of existing job descriptions every year? Okay. Who here has done one massive audit before? Okay, perfect. So I see a few hands and I don't see a few others, but as we're talking about how the world of work is changing, we have to audit our roles and the competencies. What is it that we really and truly need? I believe in conducting skills inventories, self-assessments, manager reviews, and layer in the performance and the engagement data so we can really tell the story of what are the gaps in the workplace. And again, this is where a pilot is important. I recommend starting with the most crucial roles first. What are the roles that we know are changing? And we can try and figure out what is the thing that we need here, and then move forward. After this, we need to forecast. So last year when I was at Future of Work USA, Brando talked a lot about partnering with the business, and I love this. When I worked in HR, I used to bring the different business units to my team at least once a month to explain what they did, how they made money, what was important, what were their objectives. So we had the language when we were recruiting and building plans and building programs, especially for internal mobility. So partner with them to understand the upcoming changes. I know leaders, anyone here taking the Strengths Finder? Yes, I love Clifton Strengths. It's one of my favorite ones. And I think a lot of leaders out here, anyone here have woo? Okay, a few, I see a lot of woo in this room. So if you haven't taken it or are unfamiliar or you haven't met someone who has the woo, woo is that person who has that je ne sais quoi. When they talk to you, you just lean in. I don't have it. My number one is actually discipline, because I like to build out structured plans. But the woo folks, you need to find that business leader in every business unit who has that woo, who is too excited to talk to you about in 2030, the transformation is going to be, it is going to look like this, feel like this. We're going to do all of these things. I need you to find the woo in your business units. Who is that person who is building out that strategy so they can clearly articulate what it is that they need? What is the future of work in that business unit? So I know for me, I'm currently hiring for an executive assistant on my team. And one of the things I'm telling my operations team, I need you to look for diligence and the ability to work in white space. I honestly don't care if you've ever been an assistant before. I don't care if you've worked in HR. I don't care if your background is close to mine. But if I can give you a white space and I can give you the Z and you will put all the ABCs before it and you are excited, you are my person, and I will train you on everything else. And if anyone in the room knows that person, please feel free to message me after this. Assistants, I feel like, are some of the hardest roles to hire for. But I want you to ask yourself in the forecast, if this is where we're headed, what capabilities must we develop now? Because the reality is things are changing and they're changing fast. I remember when my friends first started talking about ChatGPT. I have a lot of friends who work in tech. I ignored it. I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm not talking to some bot. I'm not putting the thing in. Like, it writes emails for you. Like, what do you mean? So you just talk to it and it tells you what to do and you actually use that. I'm like, I'm not doing it. But then when I did, it changed the game. So we never want to be behind, especially when it comes to our talent, because in learning and development, we know when there's a gap that our employees don't even know is coming, they're the ones who miss out. It affects our attrition, our retention, their overall work-life satisfaction, and our culture. So last but not least, we have Align. And this is where we want to pull it all together. So we know what the gaps are. We've looked at the organization. We looked at our engagement data. We looked at performance planning. We've talked to the business units. We found that woo person who can sell water to a fish so we see it clearly. Last but not least, we need to align. And I have 3 things here, 2 of which you probably already have, and the third one I think is really special. So one is new manager training. When I talk to companies every single day, a lot of folks are like, I know we need new manager training, but we don't quite have it, or we have it and it's not quite the best. Managers impact the workplace. At Brown Leadership, we call that the magic middle, because I believe that the magic middle is the bulk of the workforce doing all of the work and they get none of the glory. We do so much for our interns, and for that early, we give them mentorship programs, buddy programs. We introduce them to all the folks. Our senior leaders, even if we don't have the programs internally, they have the money and budget and spend to go get a coach and do all the things. But that magic middle, we're just like, y'all work. Get it done, please. You saw the vision. How do we make that happen? So new manager programs are so crucial, and not just teaching people how to manage, but I really believe in that servant leadership, teaching them that being a manager isn't just about getting the task done. It's about ushering someone into their career. The first chapter of my book is called Serving as a People Leader is Not a Rite of Passage, it's a privilege. And that's why I believe that new manager programs, thank you, are so, so, so important. Next is the Emerging Leader Accelerator. Those are those folks who are high potential, and I also say are high risk. If you've ever done that 9 box, those are those people who are probably killing it, but if they go to a conference like this, you're a little afraid that they're going to get a job offer. You're like, I want to send you, but not really, because someone's going to take you. And we need to make sure we're developing that talent and understanding what is the gap between where they are and their next logical step, and how do we make sure we're attacking that. And last but not least is my favorite, the learning labs. So actually in 2023, my company ran 4 two-day events where all different companies sent their employees to us. And we did targeted skills training on a bunch of topics. And I tell any of my clients or folks who are asking what they can do, I think these labs are the next way that we can do it. Now, I know there's micro learning and I know we have LMS, but I'm a little old school. I'm one of those people who's going to bring paper workbooks to your company. And I know you don't want me to kill the tree. I'm killing the tree. I'm killing it. Because if I give you the digital workbook, the second Slack or Teams comes in, I lost your employee and I can't get them back. But if I have paper workbooks, y'all don't need your laptops. You have to listen. It's just me and you the whole time. And we do these labs where we really focus on skills like feedback, executive presence, communication, resilience, and we tie all of these back to the business capabilities. Many times the business capabilities, what they're looking for, there's an element of technical skill, but a lot of it are these deeper soft skills. And in order to create behavior change, they need confidence. And it is rare that I see confidence come in a lot of our digital programs. Confidence comes from testing, from speaking about it, and from coaching. So skill mapping becomes real when it's embedded in leadership development. It's not a one-time thing. And again, I said, let's not boil the ocean. It may be unrealistic for many of you every single year to do this assessment, to go ahead and talk to every business leader again, realign the goals, which is why I recommend doing it in phases or doing it in pilot programs. But the goal is that you're consistently thinking about what are the skill gaps for the next generation of leaders at my organization, and how can we proactively attack those things. So with that, I have a few minutes for questions. I have 3 minutes, but I just want to ask, are you mapping what's next? And the QR code actually leads directly to my calendar. So if anyone wants to talk to me, please feel free to scan it and we can have a call. Thank you so much for your time, y'all. Have a great day.